Hi Young-chan, hi Siwan, hi Ju, Go, Dongha, Daeyoon, Daehyun, Yerim, Yesul, Unsol, Hyojin, Jongwoo, hi Jongwoo. Welcome in everybody. Great to see everybody today. How are we doing? Are we feeling good? Day 3, college going well? Party. Jongwoo is partying with his celebratory reactions. Here's my crown, for I am the king of this classroom. So, okay, looks like it's 9 o'clock. So we're gonna go ahead and get started in just a second. I'd love to hear, did you guys do anything interesting yesterday? Feel free to chat or do anything like that. I will be getting these slides up and ready to go so we can get started. Okay, let me go ahead and stop the music and get these slides up for y'all. Okay, welcome. Another day of classes together. So excited to be here with all of you, all of your smiling, wonderful faces today. Are we excited for class? Ready for a great day? I saw some of your collaboratories come in over yesterday, and they're looking pretty good. I'll be giving you guys feedback on those today, either during your lunch break or during office hours at that time. So great. So excited to have you all back. So today we're going to be continuing on our lessons in algorithmic thinking, and we're going to ground this subject more in reality. So thinking, how do algorithms impact our daily lives? Maybe you look right around you and you see, oh, you have your phone, right? Tons of algorithms on there, right? Our phones, our computers, our Instagram, our neighbor, now more things like that. How algorithms impact all of those things in our daily life. So we'll be digging into that in this class. And hopefully you have already done so in your reflection for pre-class work and thinking about how algorithms impact your daily life. So let's go to the next slide and ask you guys a question. And can I get a volunteer to answer is, what is a real world example of how technology and algorithms influence decision making? Or what is an example of technology and algorithms in your daily life? Brave souls, bravery, participation. Any ideas? I'll call on someone if you don't want to volunteer. Do we know how to raise our hands? Yes? In the React button inside of Zoom, there's the raise hand feature. We all know about that one, yes? Siwan, starting us off today.
I'm not sure if I understood the question correctly, but for an example would be the map app in your phone, to that shows you directions, meaning that would decide for you which route to take when you're going to some place.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's a great one. It's deciding for you. So you don't even have to make a decision, right? So
Yes.
it's taking your entire decision-making process entirely out of the way. Maybe it gives you a few options, but it'll suggest one straight ahead for you. So that's a great example. Thanks, Yuan. Awesome. Uh, let's see. Anybody else have any examples? There's some pretty ones that you use on a regular basis. Think your phone, right? What are some algorithms that are existing on your phone? Maybe something you use every day. Yongchan, any ideas?
Um, uh, when you do online shopping, they like gather your data of purchasing and yeah, they suggest some options with algorithm.
Yes, 100%. That is definitely a great example. Targeted advertising. Maybe you bought a cool sweatshirt, like the one Yongchan is wearing. And then the next day, they come to you and they say, "Oh, maybe you'd like this sweatshirt too, or maybe you'd like this sweatshirt too," because they took your data from that one sweatshirt you bought and said, "Oh, you're gonna buy more sweatshirts in the future," right? So, great. That's a great example as well. Anybody else have some more examples? Maybe one more before we head on, okay? Anybody? Anybody? Yes, Ul.
YouTube algorithm recommend the video that they think I like.
Yeah, absolutely. YouTube recommends me videos that they think I will like as well. You guys, do you watch a lot of YouTube too? I watch a lot of YouTube as well. So that's definitely a one of those algorithms that you see pretty much every time you watch YouTube. And it'll suggest you a few videos to watch next, or you'll log on and it'll suggest something that you watched a few years ago, or maybe something totally new to you that's similar to your likes, things that you like. So great. Thanks so much for those examples, guys. That was a great start to our day. And before we move on, I want to just take a second to talk about the classroom and the uncertainty of many of the questions we talk about. So, this idea of active learning and the fact that many answers have the answer of it depends. And so, even today, there will be a question that an activity where I present you with some answers, and one of those answers, it depends. And it's totally okay to take on that answer, especially in life. There's so many situations where you'll come across something that the answer is it depends. And knowing that everything is not a strict yes or no, it's not a black and white answer. There's so many ways to make a shade of gray in between. Whether that's in science, in history, in math, there's still great debates going on about the algorithms we use or the research that's going on or the way we view history. And so knowing that throughout life and in college as general, it's okay to say it depends. And using that and saying it depends on and justifying your answer is something we're going to work on together, especially in our ethical lessons where we get to talk about what we think is right or wrong. Um, and one example of that, of course, was yesterday when we talked about the flooding and whether or not you take Route 1 or 2. There were justifications for both. And so, of course, you can say it depends. We could take Route 2 if we knew that it's not going to be impacted today by the flooding because the floods aren't coming. Or we can take Route 1 because we know that right now for the next 2 hours, it's not going to be so crowded, or it's maybe we know that it's high up or it has that drainage pipe so it can avoid flooding. So these it depends will be very frequent in how we answer questions. And it's totally okay to have an it depends take in this class and to justify that with it depends on something. So just wanted to encourage that today, especially as we're going to debate a little bit about um, self-driving cars later in our activity. So, all good? Yes. Okay. Let's go ahead and move to our learning targets. Learning targets. So today, I love all the thumbs up. Thank you, Jinso. So today, our learning targets are going to be algorithmic thinking, ethical decision making, critical thinking, and asking the right questions. So, can anyone tell me how you think one of these concepts might be used during this class? I'll take hands first, and if nobody raises their hand, I'll call on someone who hasn't spoken yet, okay? Nobody. Okay, let's go to Daehyun. What do you think? How might one of these learning targets be used today in our class about ethical decision making and algorithmic thinking?
Uh, ethical decision making. Uh, can you say the question one more time?
Yeah, so how do we think one of these learning targets how are we going to use them in class today? Or how might this class relate to them?
Uh, ethical decision making will uh, we learn ethical decision making to uh,
You're doing good. Take your time.
okay. Maybe we learn ethical decision making to understand AI. AI.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Okay. Yeah, that's a great start. We're definitely going to be using ethical decision making to learn about AI, and maybe we'll even make some decisions about whether it's fair, unfair, whether it's ethical to even use AI. Uh, Anybody else? How are we going to use these learning targets? Maybe Wanjun, what do you think? How are we going to use one of these learning targets in class today?
I think ethical decision making could means how we can trust AI.
Mm, yeah, whether or not we can trust AI. That'll definitely be something we talk about today. Great. Okay. Anybody else have any idea maybe how are we going to use asking the right questions? What kind of questions are we going to ask to figure out these things about ethical decision making? T1, did you unmute? Go ahead.
One of the questions I had was whether or not we actually wanted an unbiased AI, because the AI is made by learning about what we do. Basically, it is trained on data that we created, meaning AI is replicating the actions that we take. If we make an unbiased AI, it might m- make solutions that we do not want.
Oh, so interesting. That's so interesting. Almost like an I don't know how much Avengers or Marvel Cinematic Universe, but thinking about Ultron and the robots and how they were an AI that someone created and tried to be unbiased, and then they wanted to destroy the whole world. So that's great. Good idea. Awesome. Okay. Thanks for all of that, everybody. Let's go ahead and move on to clarifying any common confusions. So, as you were reading the readings, um, I wanted to know if anyone had any questions about ethics, AI, and the way we use AI. Does anyone have any questions before we move on? If not, I will ask you a question, but just wanted to open the floor. Feel free to chat it to me in a DM and I can try to answer for you as well. But yeah, anybody have any questions about the readings? Siwan, go ahead.
This is not exactly about the readings, but it says to submit the reflection we had about the pre-class work on Canvas, and
Mm,
I did not know where to submit it.
mm. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Does anyone else maybe possibly know where to submit it? Did you end up submitting it somehow in another place? Anybody else? Or did we just not submit it at this point? Hmm. I see. Yeah, it doesn't have a way to submit it. I think it's fine that you didn't need to submit it. But I'll make sure to ask my people on my end to make sure we have a place for that if we need to submit it. But I think it's totally fine that you didn't submit it since it's not something that I don't think I have to grade. I'll be grading your collaboratories today, which I don't think includes that reflection. So I think we're going to use it during class today a little bit, but I don't think there was a way or a place to submit it on Canvas. So that's okay. Thanks, Yuan. And if I find something different, I'll let you know. Okay, great. Okay, so instead, I would love to ask you guys a question about it, about the readings, and ask, how is ethical decision making relevant to emerging technologies? How is ethical decision making relevant to emerging technologies? Maybe that's self-driving cars or robots in your home or new cameras or even AI, of course. So how does ethical decision making relate to those emerging technologies? Maybe we go to Jongwoo.
Mm,
You okay, Jongwoo? I can say the question again if you want. So how do you think ethical decision making relates to emerging technologies like AI? It's okay. Take your time. And maybe instead we'll come back to you and ask you again, but take your time and find an answer. I'll come back and we'll go to Soyan. What do you think? How does ethical decision making relate to emerging technologies?
By making ethical decisions, you can get rid of biases and discrimination. If the AI does not reinforce the existing biases, it can cause unfair treatment to individuals based on their gender, race, or ethnicity and personal characteristics.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much. Yeah, you're definitely on the right track there, seeing that these new technologies and AIs and programs, we need to be careful of the biases that we put into them and trying to avoid all of those by making ethical decisions. So, Jongwoo, back to you. Any ideas that you came up with?
When if an accident occurs due to a self-driving car, ethical considerations are needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually, Jongwoo, this is great because our activity today is going to be about self-driving cars and what happens when an accident happens with them. So this is a perfect plug into that. And so we'll have to take into consideration a lot of additional factors. Did you have more you wanted to say?
네?
Okay, okay, just making sure. Awesome. Cool. That's great. Perfect. Okay, let's go to our glossary for today. Let's see. So, as a part of your pre-class work now, it looks like you all are required to put in one word from your readings that you didn't understand or from something else. So, looks like I don't see too many words in here. So for tomorrow, try to find a word that you don't know or that you had to look up and make sure to put it in here with the definition. And then we can all continue learning from each other and really just creating a powerful dictionary that we'll use throughout the year together, which will be great. So um, I would love to go and ask you guys, does anyone have a question about any words that you saw or wanted to define a term or anything? Any questions? Feel free to chat me a word that you didn't understand if you would like, and then I can add it later and we can define it in our next session, or we can define it right now. We've got the time. But if no one has a word they want to define, I, of course, as your professor, have a word that I want to define with you all today, which is ethical. So I'd love to come to the class and ask you all, what does ethical mean? Could someone give me a good definition for the word ethical? Anybody have any ideas? What does ethical mean? Yasul is thinking hard about this. Can see in her face. I love it. But let's go to Unsold. What do you think ethical means? Take your best guess.
I think ethical has same meaning with the word moral. It is about mind and feeling about moral problem.
Yeah, that's great. That idea of moral. Thanks so much for starting us off there. Um, yeah, you're very much on the right track there. This idea of morality and what is moral. And can anyone tell me what this idea of being moral is or morality? What is that? Just so we get clear on that. Uh, maybe Yonsong, you have any ideas? What is moral? What is this idea of morality?
Um, um, Morality refers to principles cons- concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior.
Right and wrong. I think you're a professional Googler. Is that right? No, no, no shame, no shame. It's good to know how to Google, especially during class and very quickly, right? So yeah, you're very much right. Morality is concerning those principles of right and wrong. And so when we ask the question, is that ethical? We're asking the same question. Was that right? Is that right? Or is that good? Or is that the right way to go about it? And so today we're going to be really digging into that principle, ethical, whether or not the way we train algorithms and the way we make decisions, was it ethical in the way we do it? So great job. Thanks so much for taking your best guess out there, Googling quickly. Love to see it. Of course, being able to guess without looking at Google is always encouraged because no matter what, I've got your back. And even if it's the wrong guess, we'll figure it out together. So it's okay to say, I don't know, if you don't know, and that's totally fine. Okay. All good. Let's go ahead and move on. Oops, that's the wrong button. Let's move on to our preparation poll for today. So our prep poll today is going to be, can there ever be a case where algorithms are fair? Why or why not? Please explain in detail using a specific example. And there are arguments for and against. So feel free to pick one side, yes or no. Algorithms can be fair, or algorithms cannot be fair, and tell me why. Okay. You'll have about 5 minutes. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I will bring up this prep poll for day 3. Okay. So you should see the poll on your screen. Yes, everybody gets close to read. It's the same question. Can there ever be a case where algorithms are fair? And I'll give you 5 minutes to answer this poll. But if we need more time, that's okay. So I'll just see if everyone's done after the 5 minutes. So I'll be quiet now so you can work on your poll. Got about 2.5 minutes left, okay? If we need more time, that's fine too. Just about 1 minute left, but if we need more time, that's fine. I turned off the timer early so we didn't have to hear that weird sound again, like yesterday. But it looks like everyone is finishing up. Go ahead and give you another 30 seconds just to finish up writing. Type. If you haven't submitted, go ahead and get those finished and ready to go, okay? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll now. I'm gonna end it in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Great job. Love to see all these answers. I'm gonna go ahead and share your answers with you. So you should be able to see your own answer. And so I'd love to get checks and X's here. Whether you picked yes or no, can I see that by us reacting on Zoom, yes or no, whether we picked yes, algorithms can be fair, or no, they cannot be fair. And then I'll ask you, a few of you, why you chose that, right? Just like you chose it, just like you explained why in the poll, you'll explain why to me and your fellow classmates, which will be a great exercise. And I'd love to see answers from everybody, yes or no's. Unsol, Hyojin, Dongha, Daehyun. Do we know how to do the checks and X's? Press the little heart emoji. Then we do check or an X, which is a yes or no. Last one is Hyojin. All good. I just want to see. Yay, there we go. Now everyone has done it. Yay, checks and X's. I love it. Great. Okay, so I want to go to someone who said yes first. So let's go to Ju Hyung. What do you think?
Oh, I think that algorithms can be fair in cases like providing objective data. The word objective means that no personal thoughts or actions can be used, so algorithm would have no chance of giving biased answers concerning objective data.
Yeah, objective data, right? That's definitely one way to try and make things fair. So, do you have an example of maybe when you might get objective data?
Mm, mm, Numbers?
Yeah, that's true. Um, okay, yeah, that's definitely one reason, one way why. Let's go to someone else who said yes and ask them about it as well. So maybe Yareem, you said yes. Why did you say yes?
I think that algorithm can be fair. For instance, a medical AI provides some accurate diagnosis and information regardless of gender and age.
Ah, okay. We hope that's fair, at least, if they're providing a diagnosis. But if you're just using gender and age, maybe we need to use a few more qualities to make sure. And yeah, that's good. You're using the pre-class work. I like to see it. The medical AIs, we need to be careful with them and not rely on them too much. So that's nice. Great. Let's go to someone who said no. We got 3 no's. 1, 2, 3, 4 no's. Hansel also said no. Let's go to Daeyoon. Why'd you say no? And what's your maybe example?
I think they're not fair because familiar companies using algorithms like YouTube or Google Instagram, I know that they search and analyze our past record and they analyze our predisposition. So with this thing's background, they recommend videos or texts that fits with our records. So I think that this process makes us to see only what we want to see, and it makes us ignore others.
Yeah, it's almost a privacy matter. They can see everything that we like and we want, and they can choose not to show us anything that we don't want to see. So great, great example, great answer. Let's go to Unsol. What was your example, or why did you think algorithms can't be fair?
I think algorithm cannot be fair perfectly because it is made and used by humans. It includes particular intentions or inclination of the person or even the country which it has been made or be used.
Great. Did we lose you, or is that yeah? Oh, we lost her. She's back. Hi, Unsol. I think you finished what you wanted to say. Yes.
I have one example of it. Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. For example, when we ask something about history to AI, like ChatGPT or DeepSeek, the answer is different when we ask it with different languages. So it shows the unfairness of AI. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. That was a fun example. I love that. Really showing how ethics can be used in multiple different areas where we're talking about an AI and then in history as well, and just seeing where that comes in. So great example. And yeah, thanks for that. So there's definitely arguments you can make on both sides here. I liked that we had our first idea of objective numbers, right? So maybe there are certain ideas or disciplines where you're just talking about numbers, and AI doing numbers is definitely an algorithm that can be fair, right? But then there are lots of times when algorithms can be unfair, like in this idea that we just talked about. So great. Nice job, everybody. Thanks so much for those examples and for thinking of those during your prep polls. Awesome. So let's go ahead and bring up the slides again, although we'll only need them for a brief moment. Whoops. So we're going to be going to our main activity now. And in this activity, we're first going to have a short poll, and then we're going to have a debate of sorts. We're going to discuss our answers to that poll and the ethics of our choices. So, Jongwoo, thank you for bringing up earlier our wonderful self-driving car example, because we're about to do a poll on self-driving cars, and you'll get to decide whether or not we should be prioritizing the safety of a passenger or the safety of a pedestrian. So let me go ahead and bring up that poll for you. Stop sharing your other poll. And I'll bring forth your poll on self-driving cars. You should be able to see the poll now, and it says, should self-driving cars prioritize the safety of passengers over pedestrians in the event of a potential crash? And so you want to choose the answer that you think is the most correct. So whether you think they should prioritize passenger safety, pedestrian safety, or maybe it depends on the situation. So maybe about 2, 3 minutes to think and answer the poll. Okay.
Professor, can you send me one more time? I can't see that.
Oh, I might not be able to. Let's see. I'll end it. So, and then I'll relaunch it again so that everyone can do it again, maybe. Okay. So I'm gonna relaunch it. So you'll have to put in your answer again. Sorry about that. But don't click the X in the top left corner, okay? And then if you do finish, I'll share out the results. So you should be able to see after the poll what everyone has chosen. Maybe not the specific person, but you'll see what the breakdown of the class is. And so far, it's looking quite different from the first cohort doing this, which is very interesting to see the difference. Okay, got a few more people waiting, and that's okay. Take your time, think, make a ethical decision, right? We're making ethical decisions in this class, is the hope. We're using our ethical decision-making skills. I think I'm just waiting on 2 more people. It says 14 out of 16. Oop, 15 out of 16. Just one more person. I would love to have your feedback. Oh, you cannot see. Oh no. Ah, you can't see it. That's okay. Sorry, Junso. Interesting. Okay. Maybe I'll come to you and ask you what you think. And that'll be fine. But it's okay. Oh, okay. He's gonna leave and come back. So that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. And we'll come to him to ask him about it, his response later. So you should be able to see the poll answers now. And you'll see we have quite a majority in the it depends category. Yes. And we have some in the passenger safety first and some in the pedestrian safety first. So I'd love to do this checks and X's again. And so if you picked passenger safety first, can you put a check? And if you put pedestrian safety first, can you put up an X? Just so I know who has chosen what. And if you picked it depends, don't put up anything. Maybe put up an emoji if you want. So non-anonymous, not anonymous anymore. Ah, and see, Junso, you get to participate in this poll anyways, without, just because I cannot see who answered. And so it's much easier to see who answers and then call on them based on their response. So we should see 6 of the checks or X's. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4. I'm still waiting on 2 more for pedestrian and passenger safety. Who else picked passenger safety? Not just DAY3, I think. That's okay. Okay. Great. Let's get started. We're going to have a little bit of a debate now where I'm going to call on a student and they're going to talk about why they chose their answer. And then we'll go to the other side and see why they chose their answer, or we'll have someone counter their point. So we'll start with Dae-Hyun, who chose passenger safety first, right? And I'll ask you, why did you choose passenger safety first?
Because self-driving car are
for self-driving cars are owned by the people in the car. So I think car protect the passengers first.
Great. Yeah, this is a great argument. It's a great first starting argument of the car is owned by the person who is sitting in it. And so they should be made to protect the person who is in the car. And so let's go to someone who said no to that, or maybe something else. Wanjun, why why do you think it shouldn't be the case?
Because when crash we crash happen in car or something, in the case when car crash with pedestrian, then the percent of the or then the pedestrian will get 100%. But when car crash with something like box, then because the airbag is in the car, so the passenger will be with high percent.
So the passenger will already be safer just because they're in the car, right? And so
Yes.
the pedestrian, yeah. I get that 100%. I hear you. So maybe that's why we need to talk about pedestrians being safe too. So good, nice. And now I'd love to hear from someone who said it depends, which there are a lot of you who said it depends. And tell me why you say it depends and what does it depend on? Just like we talked about earlier. What does it depend on? Um, I'll take a volunteer if you would like. Siwan, go ahead.
I was actually going to say the passenger should be protected first, but then I thought if self-driving cars become more popular, then the passenger might not be the owner.
Uh-oh. I
Thing
lost
of the
him.
past, like
You're
I
back. Sorry. I lost you for a
okay.
second. Keep going.
Okay, so because um, I thought of the self-driving cars as a resource that anybody can use, like buses or trains. Therefore, they should see the passenger and the pedestrian equally important. So it should matter. Yeah, that should be the logical. Yeah.
Nice. Interesting. Ah, that's so interesting. Thinking of it as like a future concept of everything will be self-driving in the future, right? And so when that happens, everyone should be equal since everyone will be able to take those self-driving cars or the self-driving buses or the self-driving train. That's a very interesting take on it. I like to see it. Nice. Cool. Jongwoo, what do we think about that? This idea that everyone should be equal. I think you put pedestrian safety first. Do you agree with Siwon that everyone should be equal? Or why should pedestrians be first?
Because it is the passenger who decides to drive the car. There is nothing wrong with pedestrians.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with pedestrians, right? We're all just trying to get to where we're going. But the pedestrian doesn't have a big box around them to protect them from anything. So we hope, or at least Jungwoo, I assume, hopes that when he's walking down the street and a self-driving car crashes into him, that it will stop quickly and not hurt him. So it kind of brings into this, it brings me to this question of what is a pedestrian in your mind? Do we include cats? dogs, moose, deer, any animal as a pedestrian? And should we put their safety on the same level as a human? Yesul, what do you think? You've got some questioning faces on here.
I think animal it has less importance than human because if cars save the animal and the passenger died, that would be not good.
Yeah, I might agree with that, even though I would not want to run over a cat or a dog, as I said in the chat. But yeah, it's so interesting when you add in that pedestrian argument. We think, oh, we gotta definitely make sure the passenger is safe because they're not an animal, right? And yet it's someone's animal. Hopefully it's someone's animal. It might be their dog. Maybe it's your best friend's dog. And so it would be very sad either way because there's some emotional attachment we have to a lot of animals. So great. Does anyone else want to share their answer and why they think self-driving cars should prioritize the specific safety of one person or another before we move on? Maybe Jaemin?
The effect of animal and human, or the pedestrian and passengers?
Either, whichever one.
Well, my opinion is same with him because passengers might be dangerous because, I mean, passengers might be safe because in the car there is a lot of safety systems like safety belts or airbags. So I think we should protect pedestrian first.
Yeah, that's a good argument as well. Something we haven't even really discussed is that the car should already have safety measures built into it, right? It has the airbag. Someone mentioned the airbag. But hopefully it also has cameras telling it to stop. Hopefully it has a seatbelt for the person involved. And so even if it does crash, it hopefully should be protecting the passenger already. They already are prioritized. So maybe in the algorithms of it all, we should prioritize the pedestrians since the passengers are already being protected by the car. But that's, of course, an assumption. So what we assume about the car matters a lot in how we answer this question. And so I loved hearing everybody's arguments. Thanks so much for participating so well. There's definitely multiple ways we can view this. So great job, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and do another iRest break, just like we did yesterday. And we'll probably try to do this most days we're in class. I see C1 blinking. So he needs a good iRest break. And go ahead, go stretch, go talk to your neighbor, and I'll play some music for about 2 or 3 minutes, okay? Okay. Okay, everybody. Start coming back now. Shining faces. Hi, Soyan. Hi, Unsol. Siwan, you have a cool image that takes over your non-zoom face. An ice cube, yeah? So cool. That's a pun. Awesome. Okay. Everybody's coming back to the stage. Awesome. Love to see it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Great, 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 great. Okay. Turning our cameras on. Where did Jongwoo go? Is he there? Is he in the class with you? Or did he go to the bathroom? And Yesul, where is Yesul? Somewhere. I see people looking around. I don't want to get started without them. So, my friends, Yesul and Jongwoo, thanks, Siwon, for trying your hardest to get them back to life. That's okay. Hi, Yesul. She's back. Thank you. Now we just see where Jongwoo is, but I'm gonna go ahead and introduce breakouts, and someone can catch him up, whatever group he is in. So we're going to go into breakouts, and in your breakout rooms, you will be assigned a scenario about an ethical dilemma, because that's what we're doing today, ethical dilemmas. Um, so you'll work together to understand that dilemma from an algorithmic perspective, and you will propose ways that you might make this fair for everyone involved. So give me a moment and I will put your group documents in this chat. And then, of course, just like yesterday and the day before, feel free to get up and go to your breakout groups once the breakouts sort you randomly into those groups. Okay? So let me go ahead and get those groups real quick. Uh-huh. Okay. So you should see groups 1 and 2, groups 3 and 4, and groups 5 and 6. Now I'll go ahead and start your breakout rooms. 1, 2, 3, 6. And you'll have about 20, 25 minutes to do this breakout. And then you'll come back and we will have two or three groups present their breakouts to the class. Okay? I'm gonna go ahead and open the rooms. Welcome back, Jongwoo. Go into your breakouts and have a great time. See you later. Oh, someone is unassigned. Okay, so Yan, I just put you in a room, so you should be able to go in now. Okay, awesome. Perfect. Okay, for our YouTube folks, they're in breakouts now, so they'll have about 20 minutes to do this activity. So take a good 20-minute break. Hi, Soyeon. Doing okay? Are we having some technical issues? I'm going to go ahead and assign you to a breakout room. Hopefully that's okay. But if you want to just join one of the smaller groups, that's okay too. I just went to check on the breakouts. Got about 6 minutes left, and they're all doing quite well. So seems like they're finishing up. Lots written on some of these pages. So I'm excited to see what they have to say. Breakouts are closing. Hi, Soyeon. Seems like we're having some technical issues, yes, but good to have you at least here, so that's great. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. I think we should have everyone back about now. Okay, okay. So, hope that was fun. Hope you got a little bit of practice uh, using ethical decision making there about how to make something more fair for all the participants. For all those coming back, if we turn cameras on, that'd be great. Awesome to see your faces. And maybe if I could see all of your faces, that'd be great. Um, Thanks so much. And so I actually want to see some presentations of your scenarios and the analysis you use to decide on a fair approach, because there were actually three different scenarios. There was a social media feed, and the groups had to choose whether or not to show people on their social media a diverse feed or more of the thing that they liked. And then there was a job application scenario where users, you guys, had to decide whether to go for experiences or diversity when hiring people. And then there was a credit leasing or credit agency of sorts where they had to decide on whether they were going to give a loan to someone, and they were they going to go for location data or for something else. So would anyone like to start off and present us? I'll put up your breakout group document for you to use, but would anyone like to start us off with a presentation? Give you a chance to go first if you want to go first, because I'm going to try and come to most of you in this exercise. If not, that is okay. Let's just go to group one. So, group one, we had Jamin, Yareem, and Dayoon. Can one of you guys present your scenario and the way you decided to do things? So let's see. I think this is probably the try and delete a few things so I can see all of your things that you might need. Okay. So someone from this group, can you tell us what did you decide to do?
We decided to analyze algorithm that shows the uh, we decided to analyze the algorithm that diversify the feed. Oh yes, um, we could expect higher levels of compassion understanding by using AI. They could help common people understand or emphasize with specific information based on their past experience.
Yeah. Sorry. Go, Yerim. Go.
That's one question from James. We think that only seeing limited contents can cause bias. Plus, it can cause confirmation bias because user can see another view.
Mm-hmm. Dayoon, anything you want to add?
And for the third answer for this question, uh, I think the decision-making process should be guided by transparency. The people affected by the process, they should know and they have to understand what makes the decision. And if users, if they want to change their interests, AI platforms immediately, uh, maybe then they can AI platforms immediately so that they can retain fairness. So, and we made a solution for this. So, in massive medias or SNS systems, uh, we thought that dividing the menu to it, we thought that dividing the menu for viewers that could be the best way to secure the fairness. So we divide into one for show users interest and another for what users they did not see before. So with this program, so the user can now get new contents without getting tired of searching for it.
Wow, this is great. I love that you have put in a lot of work here into designing something that's fair and really I can almost see the app coming together in this with different menus for almost like a discover feed and then more of like a your feed showing that you the things that you like and then showing you things that you might not know already. So really love to see that. And I want to come to someone from group 2, maybe Dongha and ask, um, did you guys do it a different way? Slightly different, or do you agree with this, the way they did it? What do you think?
We are agree this opinion. We think also agree this too was opinion because mm, mm, because mm, 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 because because if all the content that matches only user interest and thought is provided, thought can become biased and extreme.
Yeah, yeah. If you only provide what one person thinks, they will go on to the extremes. So nice, awesome. Okay, let's go to group 4 and hear from them how they decided for an online job application system. And it filters candidates based on keywords. And they were asked, should it prioritize relevant experience or should it include factors that promote diversity? And so it looks like we have a few different things here. So delete a little so you can see all of your things here. So would someone from group 4 present a little for us?
First, analyze the scenario by addressing these questions. We say now, the algorithms can treat diversity if it only focuses on experience. Also, it cannot find true ability of candidates, which cannot be seen if we only consider experience.
What are potential biases or fairness issues in this scenario? The answer, by filtering based only on relevant experience, workplace diversity can diminish and the focus may become to concentrate on a single aspect.
And in case of job application, fairness should guide the decision-making process because in a fair environment, we can evaluate each individual's diverse ability.
We can discover new abilities which cannot be found if we consider only one factor. This can be helpful for development of both applicants and companies. And the second, since everyone has their own area of expertise, hiring people with different specialties rather than limiting to a single field can provide opportunities for everyone and promote fairness.
So we made the solution for it. First, change algorithm to consider diverse factors like ability equally, not prioritize one factor, and according to those factors, make AI to evaluate competency of each applicant equally.
And several people regularly manage and supervise algorithms.
Great. Love it. Wow. Also, a lot of work put in here. And I love to see this final decision that you came on to that we should be diverse factors and thinking about really the ability here. And then this AI to evaluate the ability or competency of each applicant is a great thing to implement. And maybe you could even just implement testing instead. So that's great. Let's go to group 3 and ask Yongchan whether do you think this is a good way to make this fair, or do you think there's a better way to do it?
I think it is good enough, but like I think putting all factors in one line isn't that good. So like prioritizing some factors is needed.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what you did here.
Wait a second, please. We like value the factors and we give the scores to each factors to for fairness. Like for example, we value every factors in one line that can cause like unfairness because there will be factors that is hard to achieve and it is more important for this job. Like yeah, that's the reason. So yeah, grant scores to each factors for fairness and yeah, and the rest of it is similar to them.
Great. Awesome. Great job, guys. Just for time, I'm gonna go ahead and bring us to our summary of class today. So sorry, group 5s and group 6. Maybe you don't get to present today, but that's okay. I'll try to make sure you present next time. Give you a little break though. So I'd love it if I could have someone summarize what we learned today or tie this class up in a great big bow of what today was all about. Anybody want to volunteer? Maybe Isul.
I learned today there's a lot of factors that to prevent the ethical problem in AI system.
Yeah, absolutely. And today, even more, we learned how to make decisions based on that, how many factors, whether or not we can make it fairer. It's one of the big things as well. So great. Awesome. Thanks, Yesul. Awesome. Okay. So today you're going to have another collaboratory. And in this collaboratory, you're going to be discussing a facial recognition scenario where AI is accused of bias in public safety applications. So you're going to have, I believe, 5 roles on your team. There'll be a data scientist, an ethicist, a product manager, a legal advisor, and a public relations specialist. And you'll propose different ethical adjustments that they might make towards the AI in public scenarios. So of course, this will all be on that document that you get. And I made a little announcement in the Canvas earlier about trying to submit it as a PDF instead of a Word document for today. So if you download it afterwards as a Word doc and put it into a PDF format and then submit it, it'll just make it easier for me to grade. So if you could do that, that would be wonderful. And then yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So thanks so much for coming to class today. It was great to be doing this fun debate with you about ethical systems. And just a reminder that it's always okay to say, I don't know, and to answer with, it depends, because in these types of classes and really all around life, you'll find many situations where things are not just one answer. And it's always different to be in an it depends mindset. And so thinking about how we can say, it depends on, and justify the way we answer a question, just like we did today during our self-driving car example. So that's pretty much it for today. For office hours, I believe you guys are required to come for at least like the first 15 minutes and ask any questions that you have about the collaboratories. That might be a new thing for you all, but your TAs should explain a little bit as well. So feel free to come by, swing by, tell me what you ate for lunch, and, or ask me any questions about the collaboratories. Okay, so that's it. And prep well for tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Okay, bye bye.
Bye.
Hi, C1. You okay, C1? Bye bye. Okay, that's it for us today, guys. Perfect timing.